the heart of a bustling city stood a quaint restaurant, known not only for its sumptuous dishes but for the profound lessons it unknowingly served. It was here, amid the clinking of chopsticks and the soft hum of conversation, that an extraordinary tale unfolded, a tale that wove the ancient wisdom of Confucian philosophy into the fabric of modern life. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow through the restaurant's windows, a group of old friends gathered around a round table, their faces illuminated by the soft light. They were a diverse bunch, each walking a different path in life, yet bound together by years of friendship and the shared memories that accompany it. The meal began with laughter and light banter, but as dishes were served, the conversation took a deeper turn. The first course was a simple, yet elegantly presented plate of spring rolls. It was here that the tale truly began, with the restaurant's owner, Mr. Li, approaching the table. He shared that in the making of spring rolls, much like in life, diversity and balance were key. Each ingredient, though distinct, contributed to the overall harmony of flavors. This, he explained, was akin to the Confucian understanding of love, diverse in its expressions but united in its essence. The friends nodded in agreement, their minds opening to the layers of meaning within Mr. Li's words. As the meal progressed, so too did the depth of their conversation. With the arrival of the main course, a fragrant Peking duck, Mr. Li spoke of Li, describing it as the life-generating activity that underpins existence. He likened the meticulous preparation of the dish to the cultivation of virtue, a process that requires patience, attention, and above all, humility. This notion struck a chord with the group, particularly the concept of moral humility. In a world that often celebrated arrogance and self-promotion, the idea of modesty as a virtue was both refreshing and challenging. Between mouthfuls of duck and sips of jasmine tea, the friends reflected on the role of moral intuition and conscientiousness in their lives. They shared stories of moments when their inner compass guided them toward the right decision, acknowledging the times they had faltered, blinded by pride or ignorance. Mr. Li, listening intently, nodded in approval. He spoke of the importance of education, not just in the academic sense, but as a lifelong journey of moral development. He emphasized that true wisdom lay in the practical application of virtue ethics, in the daily choices that shape our character and our destiny. As dessert was served, a delicate lotus seed pudding, the conversation turned to the tension between generalism and particularism in morality. The friends debated whether ethical decisions should be guided by universal principles or tailored to specific contexts. Mr. Li, ever the sage, suggested that perhaps the answer lay in the balance between the two, in the discernment to know when to apply which approach. As the evening drew to a close, the group reflected on the profound insights they had gained. They realized that, through the simple act of sharing a meal, they had feasted not just on the exquisite dishes before them, but on the timeless wisdom of Confucian philosophy. They had learned that ethics and ontology were deeply intertwined, that the cultivation of virtue was not just an intellectual exercise but a way of being in the world. With hearts and bellies full, the friends parted ways, each carrying with them a piece of the evening's lesson. They understood now that life, much like a well-prepared meal, was about balance, harmony, and the careful blending of diverse elements. And as they stepped out into the night, beneath a sky dotted with stars, they knew that the true feast for the soul had only just begun. In the heart of a bustling city, where the cacophony of daily life seldom ceases, there exists a quaint little restaurant known as Soulful Suppers. This establishment is not renowned for its extravagant decor or an extensive menu of exotic dishes. Instead, it has earned its reputation through an ethos that transcends the mere act of dining, weaving the ancient wisdom of Confucian philosophy into the culinary experience it offers. The journey of Soulful Suppers began with its founder, Mei Lin, a pioneer chef with a narrative technique as rich and engaging as the tales of Danielle Steele. Mei Lin believed that food was not just nourishment for the body but also for the soul. Inspired by the diverse expressions of love in Confucian tradition, she envisioned her restaurant as a place where each meal was an act of love, from the meticulous selection of ingredients to the careful preparation and serving of dishes. The menu at Soulful Suppers is a testament to the application of Confucian principles in story development. Each dish is crafted with moral intuition, embodying the virtue of Li, a life-generating activity that harmonizes nature and humanity through rituals. In this case, cooking and eating. Mei Lin's creations are not just meals. They are moral narratives that invite diners to partake in a shared ethical journey. The restaurant's signature dish, Harmony Hot Pot, is a perfect embodiment of moral humility and conscientiousness. It features a variety of locally sourced vegetables and meats, symbolizing the balance and respect for all life forms. By sharing the hot pot, diners engage in a communal experience that fosters a sense of togetherness and mutual respect, reflecting the practical application of virtue ethics in everyday life. Soulful Suppers also serves as an educational platform, where Mei Lin holds monthly workshops on the importance of mindful eating and the ethical considerations of food sourcing. These sessions delve into the intellectual and practical virtues of Confucianism, encouraging participants to reflect on their dietary choices and their impact on society and the environment. The workshops explore the tension between generalism and particularism in morality, challenging attendees to find a balance between personal preferences and ethical responsibilities. In weaving idioms through her culinary narrative, Mei Lin enriches the dining experience with deeper cultural and philosophical insights. Phrases like feeding the heart and soul and a meal worth its salt take on literal and figurative meanings, adding layers of understanding to the act of dining. This skillful deployment of idioms, combined with the integration of real-life samples, such as stories of local farmers and ethical producers, enhances the credibility and connection between the restaurant and its patrons. Soulful Suppers stands as a beacon of how ancient wisdom can inform modern practices, particularly in our diets. Mei Lin's unmatched narrative ability has created a space where the boundaries of creativity are perpetually redefined, offering not just a meal but a soulful journey. Each dish tells a story, each bite is a step closer to moral and ethical enlightenment, and each supper is a testament to the power of Confucian principles in shaping a more conscientious and harmonious society. In a world where the pace of life often disconnects us from the deeper values of existence, Soulful Suppers invites us to pause, reflect, and reconnect with the principles that truly nourish us. It is a reminder that the essence of dining transcends the physical act of eating, encompassing a rich tapestry of love, morality, and communal harmony. Through the lens of Confucian philosophy, Mei Lin has not only pioneered a unique culinary experience, but has also sown the seeds for a more thoughtful and virtuous approach to life. In the tapestry of human philosophy, few threads are as vibrant and enduring as the teachings of Confucius. His wisdom, like a lighthouse in the tempest of life, guides us toward harmony, virtue, and understanding. Today, let us embark on a journey, a feast of wisdom, as we explore how Confucius's ancient philosophy can illuminate the path to a harmonious life in our modern world. At the heart of Confucian thought lies the concept of Li, an ancient Chinese principle that transcends mere etiquette to embrace the essence of all life-generating activities. Li represents the ideal conduct in every aspect of life, a harmonious blend of rituals, social norms, and personal morality that fosters love and respect among people. Imagine Li as the dance of humanity, where every move is an expression of love and respect, every gesture an ode to the beauty of life. Confucius taught that the diversity of love is the fabric of a harmonious society. Love, according to him, is not a monolith but a mosaic of different forms and expressions. From the filial piety between parent and child to the fraternal bonds among friends, each form of love is a thread in the tapestry of community. This understanding encourages us to appreciate the varied ways in which love manifests, enriching our relationships and communities. Moral intuition and humility are the compasses that guide us through ethical quandaries. Confucianism teaches us to trust our inner moral compass, to listen to the quiet voice of virtue that whispers in moments of decision. This intuition is coupled with moral humility, an awareness of our imperfections, and a willingness to learn and grow. In a world where certitude often leads to division, this humility softens hearts and opens doors to understanding and cooperation. Conscientiousness and the practical application of virtue ethics are the hands that mold our daily lives. Confucian philosophy does not retreat into the abstract but insists on the lived experience of virtues. It's one thing to speak of generosity. It's another to share our bread. It's one thing to laud honesty. It's another to live it, even when lies would be more convenient. Through conscientious action, we become artisans of our character, shaping ourselves through the choices we make every day. Education, for Confucius, is the key to unlocking the potential of the individual and the society. It is through learning that we cultivate virtue, understand our roles and responsibilities, and learn to navigate the complexities of human relationships. Education, in the Confucian sense, is not merely academic but moral, aiming to nurture wise and virtuous citizens who contribute to social harmony. In crafting narratives that embody these principles, I draw on real-life examples that resonate with these ancient truths. Stories of individuals who embody Li in their actions, who navigate the complexities of love with grace, who listen to their moral intuition, and who approach life with humility and conscientiousness. These stories, woven with idioms that enrich the narrative tapestry, invite the reader to see the world through a lens of virtue and harmony. Feasting on wisdom, Confucius's guide to a harmonious life is not merely a reflection on ancient philosophy, but a call to action. It invites us to dine at the table of wisdom, to nourish our souls with the virtues that have sustained humanity through the ages. In a world fraught with division and strife, Confucius's teachings beckon us to a higher path, where harmony, love, and virtue are not lofty ideals but lived realities. So, let us take these teachings into our hearts and lives, weaving the wisdom of Confucius into the fabric of our daily existence. Let us be artisans of harmony, architects of a world where love and virtue illuminate the path to a truly harmonious life. In the heart of a bustling metropolis, amidst the cacophony of daily lives, there lay a quaint, almost hidden culinary haven named the Flavor of Thought. This was not your ordinary restaurant. Its menu was crafted not merely to satiate hunger but to provoke thought, to stir the soul, and to offer a taste of Confucian philosophy through the medium of culinary delight. The mastermind behind this unique establishment was Chef Li, a culinary virtuoso with a deep reverence for Confucianism. He believed that food was not just sustenance but a means to explore and experience the diverse expressions of love and morality, as advocated by Confucian teachings. Each dish on the menu was a testament to Chef Li's unmatched narrative ability, telling stories that resonated with the principles of Confucianism. The diversity of love platter, for instance, was an exquisite assortment of cuisines from around the globe, each representing a different form of love, from the passionate to the platonic, emphasizing the Confucian recognition of love's various expressions. Chef Li was an expert in applying Confucian philosophy to his culinary creations. The moral intuition soup was a clear broth, deceptively simple, yet enriched with complex flavors that unfolded gradually, urging diners to rely on their intuition to discern the layers of taste, mirroring the Confucian value of intuitive understanding in moral practices. The signature dish, Li's life-generating activity, was a vibrant, life-affirming salad that combined ingredients in ways that seemed to dance and harmonize on the plate, embodying the Confucian concept of Li as an expression of good and a vital, nurturing activity. Chef Li's humility was evident in the moral humility noodles, a dish that was unassuming in its presentation, yet profound in flavor. It reminded diners of the importance of modesty and self-awareness, key virtues in Confucian thought. The conscientiousness curry demanded careful, slow consumption. Its preparation was meticulous, requiring diligence both in the kitchen and at the table, thus serving as a culinary parallel to the Confucian virtue of conscientiousness in one's moral life. Chef Li's menu also educated, with dishes like the practical application of virtue ethics stew, which encouraged diners to reflect on the day-to-day living out of virtues in a practical manner, a core concern of Confucianism. The distinction between intellectual and practical virtues was explored through the intellectual versus practical virtues pie, a dish that required diners to engage both their minds and their taste buds to fully appreciate its complexity. Through his culinary explorations, Chef Li skillfully deployed idioms and real-life samples, adding depth to his narratives. The restaurant itself became a living story, weaving together the generalism and particularism in morality found in Confucian thought and merging ethical discourse with ontological considerations. The flavor of thought thus stood as a monument to the careful balance between uniqueness and listener, or in this case, diner engagement, respecting all copyright rules by offering an original dining experience that was both substantial and digestible. In a world where the pace of life often seems to outrun the capacity for reflection, Chef Li's culinary haven offered a pause, a moment to savor not just the food, but the profound philosophical insights it represented. It was a reminder that, just like the dishes that graced his menu, life, according to Confucianism, was to be consumed conscientiously, with a full appreciation of its flavors and a deep understanding of its moral and ethical dimensions. In the tapestry of life, food holds a profound significance that transcends mere sustenance. It is a medium of expression, a catalyst for connection, and a source of joy. This narrative delves into the rich culinary landscapes that intertwine with Confucian philosophy, offering a feast for the soul as much as for the palate. As we embark on this gastronomic journey, we discover how the ancient wisdom of Confucius enhances our appreciation of food, fostering a deeper understanding of love, morality, and community. At the heart of Confucianism lies the concept of li, traditionally understood as a set of rituals and norms that guide social conduct. However, in the culinary world, li transcends these formalities, manifesting as the art and etiquette of dining that elevates the act of eating from a mundane task to a life-generating activity. This transformation is not merely about the aesthetics of table setting or the choreography of serving dishes, but about recognizing the love and care infused in the preparation and sharing of food. In every slice, dice, and stir, there is an expression of li, making each meal a testament to the harmony between humans and nature and among individuals. Confucius championed the diversity of love, teaching that the affection between friends is distinct yet as valuable as that within a family. This philosophy finds its expression in communal dining, where the sharing of dishes symbolizes the sharing of life's joys and sorrows. It is a practice that fosters moral intuition, as individuals navigate the give and take of relationships, learning to act with kindness, respect, and empathy. The dining table becomes a microcosm of society, where lessons in moral humility and conscientiousness are imparted subtly yet impactfully. The Confucian emphasis on practical application of virtue ethics is vividly reflected in the culinary domain. Cooking and eating are not just about following recipes or consuming nutrients. They are acts imbued with ethical significance. From choosing sustainably sourced ingredients to minimizing waste, these daily decisions mirror the Confucian ideal of living out virtues in a practical manner. It is in the kitchen and at the table that the intellectual virtues of wisdom and understanding meet the practical virtues of temperance and courage, creating a holistic approach to food that nourishes both body and soul. Moreover, Confucianism's educational aspects are evident in the culinary traditions passed down through generations. Each recipe is a lesson in culture, history, and family values, offering a taste of the past while nurturing skills and knowledge for the future. This transmission of culinary heritage is akin to the Confucian dedication to education, where learning is seen as essential for personal growth and social harmony. In integrating real-life samples, we find that the principles of Confucianism are not relics of a bygone era, but vibrant elements of contemporary culinary practices. From the farm-to-table movement that echoes the Confucian respect for nature to the global trend of communal dining that celebrates the diversity of love and community, these modern manifestations of ancient philosophy remind us that food is more than fuel. It is a medium through which we connect, understand, and love. As we savor the teachings of Confucius through the lens of food, we are reminded of the idiom, "You are what you eat." Perhaps, it is not just about the physical nutrients that sustain us, but also about the moral and ethical nourishment we derive from our culinary choices. In every bite, there is potential for reflection, for connection, and for growth. Let us then approach our meals with the reverence they deserve, seeing them not as mere routines but as opportunities to practice li, to cultivate virtue, and to celebrate the rich tapestry of human experience. In crafting this narrative, The aim has been to strike a careful balance between uniqueness and listener engagement, respecting both the intellectual legacy of Confucian philosophy and the universal joy of food. Through this exploration, we discover that the teachings of Confucius are not confined to texts and temples, but are alive in the kitchens and dining tables around the world, offering guidance, comfort, and inspiration in our daily lives. In the heart of a bustling city, where skyscrapers pierced the clouds and the streets thrummed with the relentless beat of progress, there existed a small, inconspicuous restaurant known to those who sought not just nourishment for the body, but also food for thought. The owner, a master chef with a philosopher's heart, had woven the ancient wisdom of Confucianism into the very fabric of his menu, creating an experience that was at once a culinary delight and a journey through the rich tapestry of ethical living. This is the tale of how a simple meal could become a lesson in the diversity of love, moral intuition, and the life-generating activity known as li. As guests entered this gastronomic haven, they were greeted not just by the tantalizing aromas of expertly prepared dishes, but by an ambience that whispered of age-old wisdom and moral contemplation. Each table, rather than being numbered, bore the name of a virtue extolled by Confucius: benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faithfulness. The menu itself was an ode to the idea that moral development and social harmony could be nurtured through the act of eating mindfully and with consideration. The chef had skillfully deployed idioms throughout the menu, turning phrases like "spill the beans" into an invitation to discuss truths over a dish of savory legumes, or "full of beans" to suggest a state of robust health and vitality, achievable through the consumption of wholesome, nurturing meals. This playful use of language enriched the dining experience, adding layers of meaning to each bite. Integration of real-life samples into the dining experience was another stroke of genius. Each dish was accompanied by a story, a narrative of its origin, the ethical considerations in its preparation, and how it exemplified one or more of Confucian virtues. For instance, a simple bowl of rice, grown sustainably, served as a reminder of conscientiousness and the importance of caring for the earth. A platter of mixed vegetables, each variety harvested at the peak of its season, spoke to the harmony of nature and the human responsibility to live within the means provided by our environment, embodying the concept of li as a life-generating activity. The restaurant's approach to diversity of love was manifest in its inclusive menu, which catered to all dietary preferences and restrictions, recognizing the different forms and expressions of love, for oneself, for others, and for the planet. This was moral intuition in practice, acknowledging the innate understanding we all have of what is right and good, and applying it in a practical, everyday context. Moral humility was evident in the chef's willingness to engage with his guests, sharing the philosophical underpinnings of his culinary creations without pretense or presumption. This humility, coupled with a conscientious approach to sourcing ingredients and preparing meals, created an atmosphere where guests felt encouraged to reflect upon their own ethical beliefs and practices. The educational aspect of the dining experience was subtle yet profound. Guests left not only satiated in body but enriched in mind, having engaged with the intellectual and practical virtues espoused by Confucianism in a manner that was both accessible and engaging. The tension between generalism and particularism in morality was played out in the choice of dishes, challenging diners to consider the universal principles of ethical conduct alongside the specific circumstances of individual ingredients and their production. This fusion of ethics and ontology, of philosophical discourse with the act of eating, transformed the restaurant into a place of learning and reflection. The edible ethics of Confucius was more than just a dining establishment. It was a testament to the idea that every aspect of daily life, even something as mundane as eating, could be imbued with meaning and purpose, guiding individuals toward a more virtuous, harmonious existence. In a world often disconnected from the sources of our sustenance and the implications of our consumption, the restaurant stood as a beacon of mindfulness, a reminder that the choices we make about what we put on our plates reflect the values we hold dear. Through the simple act of sharing a meal, guests embarked on a journey through taste and wisdom, discovering the edible ethics that could nourish not just the body, but the soul. In the heart of an ancient city, where the echoes of the past intertwined with the rhythm of the modern world, there existed a quaint little eatery named Bites of Benevolence. This unique establishment was the embodiment of a philosophy rarely seen in the culinary world, one that drew heavily on the ancient teachings of Confucius, blending the art of cooking with moral intuition and the diversity of love. The story of Bites of Benevolence began with its founder, Mei Lin, a pioneer chef who believed that food was not just a means to satiate hunger, but a medium to express love, teach virtues, and foster community harmony. Mei Lin's unmatched narrative ability in the kitchen transformed every dish into a captivating tale, making her eatery a sanctuary for those who sought not only nourishment for their bodies, but also for their souls. Drawing from Confucius's philosophy, Mei Lin's approach to cooking was a unique fusion of Li, the life-generating activity, and the conscientious application of virtue ethics. Each recipe was a testament to the diversity of love, carefully crafted to respect the dietary preferences and cultural backgrounds of her patrons, embracing moral intuition over rigid culinary traditions. For Mei Lin, the art of cooking was imbued with moral humility. She often said, "To cook is to love, and to serve is to show humility." This ethos was evident in the care she took in selecting her ingredients, favoring those that were sustainably sourced and prepared with conscientiousness, ensuring that every bite was a reflection of her commitment to ethical and moral principles. The menu at Bites of Benevolence was a testament to Mei Lin's skillful deployment of idioms, with dishes like a stitch in time, a hearty stew that promised to mend the heart and nourish the soul, and the measure of rice, a simple yet profound offering that taught the value of moderation and balance. These dishes were not just meals. They were lessons in life, served on a plate. Integrating real-life samples into her culinary creations, Mei Lin often shared stories of the farmers and artisans who provided her ingredients, highlighting the interconnectedness of all lives and the importance of supporting local communities. This practice not only enhanced the credibility of her culinary philosophy, but also strengthened the bond between her patrons and the broader ecosystem of sustenance. Bites of Benevolence became more than an eatery. It was a place of learning and reflection. Mei Lin organized weekly dinners where discussions on Confucian virtues, the ethical dimensions of eating, and the practical application of virtue ethics in daily life were encouraged. These gatherings were a melting pot of ideas, where intellectual and practical virtues were explored, bridging the gap between generalism and particularism in morality. The impact of Bites of Benevolence on its patrons and the community was profound. It became a beacon of social harmony, a testament to how the ancient wisdom of Confucianism could be applied in contemporary times to cultivate virtue, foster moral development, and celebrate the joy of shared meals. In a world where the pace of life often leaves little room for reflection, Bites of Benevolence stood as a reminder of the importance of slowing down, appreciating the simple joys of life, and recognizing the moral and ethical dimensions of our everyday choices. Mei Lin's story was a vivid illustration of how the ancient teachings of Confucianism could be woven into the fabric of modern society, offering a nourishing blend of wisdom, love, and humility, one bite at a time. In the bustling heart of a modern metropolis, where the skyscrapers kiss the clouds and the streets hum with the symphony of daily life, there existed a quaint, almost forgotten lane known by the locals as Harmony Alley. Here, nestled between the relics of old and the shadows of progress, stood a culinary haven unlike any other, the Virtuous Table. This was not just any restaurant. It was a place where the ancient philosophies of Confucius were reimagined and served up, one dish at a time. The mastermind behind this unique culinary adventure was Chef Li, a culinary artist with a vision to blend the rich flavors of tradition with the zest of modern life. Chef Li believed that cooking was not just about nourishing the body but also the soul, a principle deeply rooted in Confucian philosophy. Each dish crafted in the kitchen of the Virtuous Table was a testament to the diversity of love, moral intuition, and the life-generating activity known as Li. One could say that Chef Li was not only a master chef, but also an adept storyteller, weaving idioms and real-life samples into the narrative of each dish. For instance, the restaurant's signature dish, the Harmony Platter, was inspired by the Confucian virtue of conscientiousness. It was a meticulous blend of flavors and textures, each ingredient carefully chosen and prepared to ensure a harmonious balance, reflecting the diligence and care in one's moral life. The virtuous table also served as an educational platform, where Chef Li shared the wisdom of Confucianism through the medium of food. The menu was sprinkled with descriptions that highlighted the educational aspects of Confucian thought, such as the distinction between intellectual and practical virtues. Diners were not just enjoying a meal. They were embarking on a journey through the tenets of ancient Chinese philosophy, reinterpreted for the contemporary palate. In crafting his menu, Chef Li skillfully deployed idioms to enrich the narrative of his dishes. A popular dessert, the sweetness of modesty, was inspired by the Confucian emphasis on moral humility. This deceptively simple pudding used modest ingredients to create a flavor that was understated yet profound, mirroring the virtue of modesty and self-awareness in ethical considerations. The integration of real-life samples into the culinary experience added an extra layer of authenticity and connection. Chef Li often shared stories of his travels and encounters, how meeting a humble tea farmer in the mountains influenced his creation of the tea-infused tranquility, a dish that encapsulated the practical application of virtue ethics in everyday life. The virtuous table was more than a restaurant. It was a microcosm of society where the principles of generalism and particularism in morality were explored through the lens of food. Chef Li's innovative approach to cuisine showed that ethics and ontology could merge seamlessly, offering diners not just a taste of food, but a taste of tradition, reimagined. As patrons left the virtuous table, they carried with them more than just the memory of a meal. They left with a newfound appreciation for the depth and relevance of Confucian philosophy in the modern world, proving that even in the midst of a bustling city, the ancient wisdom of Confucius could find a place at the table, nourishing not just the body, but the soul. In the heart of a bustling city stood an unassuming restaurant known for its extraordinary dishes, each imbued with a story. The master chef behind this culinary haven, Lian, believed in more than just creating food. He sought to stir souls and enlighten minds. His secret, the ancient philosophy of Confucianism, seamlessly blended into every recipe and garnish. This tale, Confucius in the Kitchen, cooking up virtue and harmony, unfolds in the sacred space of Lian's kitchen, where philosophy meets the art of cooking, creating a symphony of flavors and wisdom. Lian's journey began in his grandmother's kitchen, where the seeds of his culinary philosophy were sown. He learned early on that cooking was not merely about feeding the body but nurturing the soul. It was here, amidst the steam and sizzle, that Lian discovered the depth of Confucian thought. He understood that at the core of Confucianism lay the principles of love, morality, and harmony, values that he could weave into his cooking. Each dish he prepared was a narrative, a lesson in living harmoniously, guided by the virtues of Confucianism. One of Lian's signature dishes, the Harmony Hot Pot, was a testament to his unmatched narrative ability. Inspired by Confucianism's emphasis on diversity and unity, the hot pot was a melding of ingredients from various cultures, each contributing its unique flavor yet achieving a perfect balance. This dish was not just a feast for the palate but a lesson in coexistence and mutual respect. Lian often shared with his patrons, just as these diverse ingredients create a harmonious dish, we, too, can find unity in diversity. Lian skillfully applied Confucian philosophy to his craft. He saw the preparation of food as a life-generating activity, Li, where the act of cooking was imbued with love and care, transforming simple ingredients into nourishing meals. He practiced moral intuition, allowing his instincts to guide him in creating dishes that resonated with his patrons' deepest cravings. His kitchen was a place of moral humility, where every spice and simmer was a reminder of the chef's role as a caretaker of the earth's bounty. In his stories, Lian deployed idioms like adding fuel to the fire to describe the careful balance of spices needed to perfect a dish, or too many cooks spoil the broth, to emphasize the importance of harmony and order in the kitchen. These idioms enriched the narrative, adding layers of meaning and connecting the culinary world with the broader tapestry of life. Lian integrated real-life samples into his culinary tales, sharing stories of ancient Chinese markets where vendors and buyers practiced conscientiousness, ensuring fairness and integrity in every transaction. He spoke of the educational aspects of cooking, how each recipe taught patience, precision, and creativity, mirroring the Confucian emphasis on learning and self-improvement. The restaurant, under Lien's stewardship, became more than just a place to eat. It was a sanctuary where patrons experienced the practical application of virtue ethics. The dining experience was an interactive lesson in Confucian philosophy, where each course reflected principles such as generalism in selecting a diverse menu and particularism in tailoring dishes to individual tastes. Lien's narrative concluded with a powerful reminder that the essence of cooking, much like life, is not found in the mere consumption of food, but in the joy of sharing, the warmth of community, and the pursuit of harmony. Confucius in the kitchen. Cooking up virtue and harmony was not just a story about food. It was an invitation to savor life's flavors, to cultivate virtue, and to create harmony in every action. As patrons left Lien's restaurant, they carried with them more than the memory of a delightful meal. They left inspired, their hearts and minds enriched by the profound wisdom that had been served alongside every dish. In Lien's kitchen, Confucian philosophy and culinary artistry intertwined, proving that even in the most ordinary acts, there is the potential for extraordinary virtue and harmony. In the bustling kitchen of a renowned culinary institute, where the clatter of pans and the aroma of spices filled the air, a master chef named Li Wei stood before a group of eager young students. His lesson for the day was not just about the techniques of chopping or the secrets of seasoning, but something far more profound: the art of infusing Confucian values into modern meals. Li Wei began with a tale that seemed to dance off his tongue, captivating the students. In ancient China, he started, the preparation of food was not just a daily necessity but a spiritual practice. Confucius himself believed in the harmony of flavors and the balance of ingredients, seeing each meal as an opportunity to nurture both body and soul. As Li Wei spoke, the students were drawn into a narrative that wove together philosophy and gastronomy. He explained the diversity of love through the lens of Confucianism, likening it to the variety of ingredients in a dish. Just as each ingredient serves a purpose, so does every form of love enrich our lives. The love for family, for friends, the love of learning, and self-love. Moving on, Li Wei touched upon moral intuition, likening it to the intuitive sense a chef develops over years of cooking. Just as you must trust your instincts to create a perfect dish, so must you trust your moral compass to lead a virtuous life, he stated, encouraging his students to practice moral humility in the kitchen and beyond. The concept of Li as a life-generating activity was next. Li Wei paused, allowing the students to absorb the idea. In cooking, Li can be seen in the meticulous preparation of ingredients, the respectful handling of food, and the joyful act of sharing meals. Each of these actions generates life, fostering a sense of community and well-being. He emphasized the importance of conscientiousness in the culinary world, drawing parallels to Confucian virtue. A diligent chef pays attention to the smallest details, understanding that the quality of the meal reflects their commitment to excellence. Similarly, conscientiousness in our moral life involves being thorough and careful in our actions and decisions. Li Wei also highlighted the educational aspects of cooking, encouraging his students to view each cooking session as a learning opportunity. Confucian thought holds education in high regard, believing it to be essential for moral development. In our kitchen, every recipe tried and every technique mastered contributes to your growth as both a chef and a person. As the lesson progressed, Li Wei skillfully deployed idioms to enrich his narrative, saying, just as too many cooks spoil the broth, in life, too many conflicting opinions can lead to indecision. Yet, a watched pot never boils reminds us that patience is a virtue, in cooking and in waiting for the right moment to act. Integrating real-life examples, Li Wei shared stories of renowned chefs who embodied Confucian virtues, their dedication to their craft serving as a testament to the practical application of these ancient principles in a modern context. As the lesson came to a close, Li Wei left his students with a final thought. The harmony we seek in our dishes is reflective of the harmony we seek in life. By infusing our meals with Confucian values, we do more than nourish the body. We feed the soul, promoting a life of virtue, balance, and fulfillment. The students, deeply moved by the narrative, understood that their journey in the culinary arts was not just about mastering flavors, but about cultivating a life rich in virtue and meaning. Li Wei, with his unmatched narrative ability, had not only taught them how to create harmonious meals, but had also guided them toward a more harmonious way of living.